Welcome students. Today we are going to discuss on time domain analysis. Today's presentations mainly focus on second order system response, time domain specifications, and we are going to discuss about how to derive the time response of a second order system with the step response. And after deriving this, we will be drawing the time response curve of a second order system. Then we will from the time response we will be studying about various time domain specifications and how to derive the time domain specifications. Then finally we will be solving some tutorial problem. So in the previous sessions we have developed time response of a first order system with the step, ramp and impulse functions. Today we will focus the second order system response. This is the block diagram of a second order system. The example for a second order system is the best example is a motor. So for a DC armature controlled motor we can develop the expression. So finally we'll get this open loop transfer function G of S is equal to omega n square divided by S into S plus 2 delta omega n with a unity feedback system. So we can from this open loop transfer function G of S is equal to 1 omega n square divided by S into S plus 2 delta omega n under unity feedback H of S is equal to 1. We can find the closed loop transfer functions C of S divided by R of S is equal to G of S divided by 1 plus G of S H of S. In this expression we can replace these two expression for G of S and H of S. Finally we will get the final closed loop transfer function for a second order system as omega n square divided by S square plus 2 delta omega n S plus omega n square. This is a standard equation used for second order system response. So here the omega n square, in this omega n is the natural frequency of the system. Omega so omega n is the natural and the second factor, the delta, it is a damping factor of a system. So these two are all constant value for a system. So from this the characteristic equation is S square plus 2 delta omega n S plus omega n square equal to 0. This is the characteristic equation of this second order system. Solving this characteristic equation you will get two roots. One is S1 S2. S1 is equal to minus del omega n plus j omega d, and another root is delta omega n minus delta omega n minus del omega d. So here omega d is the omega d is equal to omega n square root of del square minus 1. del square or zeta square minus 1. So these two are all two poles, closed loop poles of the system. So this can be expressed, omega d can be expressed in terms of omega n as omega d equal to omega n square root of del square minus 1. Del is the damping factor, omega n is the natural frequency of the system. So while designing a system, the omega n is fixed, whereas we can vary the del, damping factor, and as already we mentioned that the system performance mainly depends upon the characteristic equation intern the poles of the system. Here we get two poles, complex poles. So by varying del value, the pole values vary so that we can change the system characteristics. So this S value, this can be represented in a plot that is called S-plane plot. So here x-axis is, so S is real part can be taken as sigma plus j omega, y-axis frequency term. So here x value is minus del omega n, whereas imaginary part is omega d. So marking here you will get this point. So by varying the del value, we can vary the del value from 0 to 1, or del value can be varied from greater than 1, or it may be maintained at 0, or it may be maintained at equal to 1. There are different cases. So there are four different cases of pole locations in the S-plane. So one case is varying the del value from 0 to 1. Then second case is pole location can be maintained at del equal to 1. And third case is del greater than 1. Okay, these are the three important cases we will study. So here damping factor plays important role for changing the characteristics of the system. So if you vary the del value, damping value, accordingly the system transient varies. So some system may be more oscillations, some system may be less oscillations. It may be very slow in nature. Some system will respond to the fast. It will be fast. It will give fast response. So based on this value, either we can increase the system response. Either it may be a slow or fast. And even you can reduce the oscillations also for a system by controlling the value of the damping factor. Next, as we derived in the first order system, here we will derive the expression for the output of a second order system with a step response. For a step response, R of S is equal to 1 by S. Then we take the closed loop transfer function. C of S by R of S is equal to omega n square divided by S square plus 2 delta omega ns plus omega n square. Then we can write the expression for closed loop transfer function for different cases of damping factor. So initially we consider del value equal to 0. Okay. So in this case, when del equal to 0, so you will get C of S divided by R of S is equal to omega n square divided by S square plus omega n square. Then in order to find the output, C of S can be written as omega n square divided by S square plus omega n square into R of S. So this is, here we consider step input. So we can replace R of S is equal to 1 by S. So finally we'll get C of S is equal to omega n square divided by S into S square plus omega n square. Then the next step is to find the inverse Laplace transform. That is, we have to find out the C of t, output response with respect to time. So for this case, so you are all aware of that. Taking inverse Laplace transform, you can apply the partial fraction method. So this equation can be written as some a divided by s plus omega n square divided by s square plus omega n square. So we can, that is, this can be written as some b. So b divided by, so you can find the coefficient a and b. So you will get some 1 divided by s minus 1 divided by s square plus omega n square, some omega n square. So for this, taking inverse Laplace transform, so we'll go for 1 by s, inverse Laplace transform is 1, then omega n square divided by s square plus omega n square, you will get cos of omega n t and u of t. So this is the output response of a second order system with a damping factor del equal to 0. Next case is del equal to 1. So when del equal to 1, what happens? So take the same second order equation, C of s divided by R of s is equal to omega n square divided by s square plus 2 delta omega n s plus omega n square. So C of s can be written as, so here del value equal to 1. So you will get omega n square plus, so s square plus 2 delta omega delta is 1. So s square plus 2 omega ns plus omega n square can be written as s plus omega n square whole square into R of s. Is equal to s square plus 2 omega n s omega n square. So replacing R of s with 1 by s, you will get C of s is equal to omega n square divided by s into s plus omega n whole square. Then by partial fraction method, you can rewrite the expression as a divided by s plus b divided by s plus omega n plus c divided by s plus omega n whole square. So we can find the coefficient a, b, c as 1, minus 1 and minus omega n. I assume that you are aware of how to solve for a, b, c. So after substituting these coefficient value a, b, c in this expression, so you will get C of s is equal to 1 divided by s minus 1 divided by s plus omega n minus omega n divided by s plus omega n whole square. So you can take the inverse Laplace transform for this expression. So C of t can be written as, for 1 by s 1, then 1 divided by s plus omega n can be written as e power minus omega n t. Then for omega n divided by s plus omega n whole square can be written as omega n into t e power minus omega n t. So this is the output equation for a second order system system response with the step input for damping factor value 1. So the next case is, this is a very important case. In this derivation is most probably asked in university examinations. That is when del value is varied from 0 to 1. This is an underdamped case. This is called underdamped case of system. So in this case, damping factor value is varied from 0 to 1. So we can write the transfer function s square plus, from the transfer function, s square plus 2 delta omega n s plus omega n square can be rewritten in this format. That is, this expression can be written like this: s square plus 2 delta omega n plus add del omega n square, then subtract the same term here, minus del omega n square. Then rearrange this expression, you will get s square plus 2 delta omega n s plus omega n square can be written as s square plus s plus del omega n whole square plus under this term omega n, and this can be written as omega n square into 1 minus del square. Then write this expression in this denominator. So the revised form of closed loop transfer function for a second order system can be written as C of s divided by R of s is equal to omega n square divided by s plus del omega n square plus omega n square into 1 minus del square. So this expression we will be using for the deriving the second order system response. Then in this expression replace R of s with 1 by s. So you will get C of s is equal to omega n square divided by s into s plus del omega n whole square plus omega n square into 1 minus del square. Then the next step is, by applying the partial fraction method, this expression can be written as sum a divided by s plus bs plus c divided by s plus del omega n whole square plus omega n square into 1 minus del square. Then this expression can be rewritten in such a way that we can find the coefficient a, b, c as 1, minus 1 and minus 2 delta omega n. Then substituting this in this expression, you will get C of s is equal to 1 by s minus s plus 2 delta omega n divided by s plus del omega n whole square plus omega n square into 1 minus del square. Right? Then the next step is we have to take inverse Laplace transform. For taking inverse Laplace transform directly is very difficult for this expression. So what I do is I split this second part of this equation in the C of s as like this. So 1 divided by s minus this s plus 2 delta omega n is written as s plus del omega n plus del omega n, and the numerator we can write this s plus del omega n divided by s plus del omega n whole square plus omega n square into 1 minus del square minus del omega n divided by s plus del omega n whole square plus omega n square into 1 minus del square. So the next step is, again I rearrange the expression in such a way that so we will able to get the inverse Laplace transform. This expression can be written as 1 divided by s minus s plus del omega n divided by s plus del omega n square plus this is written as in terms of omega n square root of 1 minus del square whole square minus this form is written as I multiply the numerator and denominator term with the square root of 1 minus del square. So rearranging this expression, you will get del divided by square root of 1 minus del square into omega n square root of del square divided by s plus del omega n whole square plus omega n square root of 1 minus del square whole square. Why I am writing this expression is, we know the formula for sum of the inverse Laplace transform as So in order to use, if you write the equation in this format, that is s plus a divided by s plus a square plus b square, the inverse Laplace transform is e power minus at cos bt. The second case is b divided by s plus a whole square plus b square equal can be written as e power minus at into sin bt. So in order to take inverse Laplace transform for our convenient, so I am rewriting this expression into this expression. So now what I do is I replace omega n square root 1 minus del square as omega d. Then I write this expression into this form: c of s is equal to 1 by s minus s plus del omega n divided by s plus del omega n whole square plus omega d square minus del divided by square root of 1 minus del square into omega d divided by s plus del omega n square plus omega d square. So this, in this expression, this is equivalent to this, whereas this is equivalent to this. So instead of a, here it is del omega n, instead of b, here it is omega d. Now you can take inverse Laplace transform for this expression. So c of t can be written as 1 minus e power minus del omega n t cos omega d t minus del divided by square root of 1 minus del square e power minus del omega n t sin of omega d t into u of t. Okay. So now it becomes a standard format. Again, what I do is I assign square root of 1 minus del square as sin theta and del as cos theta. So replacing this in this expression, so we'll get c of t is equal to 1 minus e power minus del omega n t divided by square root of 1 minus del square sin theta into cos omega d t plus then cos theta into sin of omega d t. So in this expression you can see that it is a sin a cos b plus cos a sin b in this format. So what I do is this can be replaced as sin of a plus b, that is sin of omega t t plus theta. So this is a final expression for the second order system with the step response. So c of t is equal to 1 minus e power minus del omega n t divided by square root of 1 minus del square into sin of omega d t plus theta. So in this final expression you can see that there is an exponential term as well as sinusoidal term. So you can draw the final response for a second order system. So you will get this graph. So in this graph, so the output c of t increases and reaches steady state at one point initially, then and it reaches beyond steady state and reaches a maximum, then its value diminishes below the steady state, then after some oscillation it reaches the steady state value, final steady state value. So you get a oscillation, a transient with the oscillations in the output response. So initially we will get oscillation, then finally it settle down to its final steady state value, right? So this is the output response of a second order system response with the step input for underdamped case, that is varying the del value from 0 to 1. From this second order system response, we can define some parameter which are all called as time domain specifications. So here the transient response reaches the first steady state value up to the some 100%. This time duration is called rise time, that is it is represented as tr. Then it reaches the peak, first peak, which is called a peak overshoot. Then after some oscillations it is settled down to its final steady state value. Before reaching the final steady state value, it may oscillate for some oscillations. Even there may be in the final steady state, there may be oscillation, and we can allow that oscillation. It may be 2 to 5% of its final value. Okay, so in order to reach this value, the time taken to reach this final value within the tolerance span, then the time is called settling time, TS. It is represented as TS. So these are all the time domain specification, that is rise time, peak time, then settling time, then peak overshoot. Where peak overshoot can be obtained from the difference of the first peak magnitude and the final steady state value. It is represented as MP. Okay, these are all the some of the time domain specification that can be arrived from the second order system. So here we can see the output response, how it varies with respect to different damping factor. Here you get for damping factor for del equal to 0.1 and 0.2, 0.5 up to 1, then beyond del value that is greater than 1. So if the del value is less than 1 and it is very for minimum value, get more oscillations with a higher magnitude. And if we increase the damping factor value, then it oscillation magnitude minimizes and also the oscillations decreases. Then when the del value is increased beyond 1, the oscillation is completely reduced and you will get a transient. So here you can see which is equivalent to a step response of a first order system. So even though it is a second order system, if the damping value is increased beyond 1, which is also called as a over damped system, then its response become very slow, and now it becomes a equivalent to a first order system response. So by controlling the damping factor value, you can control the output response, and its speed also can be controlled. Whether speed of the response can be increased, and you can control the oscillations. Everything can be controlled by controlling the damping factor value. So the second graph shows that for different values of del value, from varying the del from 2 to -2. So some cases for del value equal to 0, you get a sustained oscillation with a constant magnitude. So here also you can vary the del value. In some cases it may become out of control, that is magnitude go on increases beyond our control. So we have to properly control the del value in order to get the system response within our desired value. And also by varying the omega n value, that is response value, here the magnitude is same, but the frequency of the oscillations vary. So this is a graph of a second order system response for various value of omega. So in this session, so we have derived the second order system response with the different cases of damping factor, that is del equal to 0 and del equal to 1, and del value is varied from 0 to 1 or del value greater than 1. So you should mainly focus on the derivation of the second order system response for del value varying from 0 to 1. That will be asked in the university examinations, and also we will discuss various time domain specifications. In the next session we will be deriving the time domain specifications, that is rise time, peak overshoot, and settling time, and we will solve some problem based on the time domain specifications. So with this we conclude this sessions. Thank you.